this, that, and the other.
Right.
When you're watching the Olympics, you're cheering for our country.
I love that. I tell you, a lot of people are also unite over music. Music seems to bring people together as well. And, musicians, famous folks that we've seen on TV and been listening to their music forever, they get tired of being on the road all the time. So some of the more successful artists have been doing residencies in Las Vegas and other big cities, making the fans come to them instead of the other way around. For instance, Cher. I was trying to work out Cher last year with my folks, and I wasn't able to do that. Elton John, even Britney Spears, just to name a few. But Justin Timberlake, who just headlined this year's big halftime show, is still on the road, but he's also in his 30s. So, yeah, you're still on the road. He's still enjoying that. He still has the energy and likes doing that, but he's a busy guy with a lot of things going on in his career. TV host Zane Lowe asked Timberlake if he would ever consider a Vegas residency.
I mean, I wouldn't rule it out if it was something that was different. I definitely don't. I immediately am like, you're planning your retirement. You know what I mean? So for some reason that feels like scary to me.
It's scary, yes, especially at the age he is. But, even celebrities really that are older than Timberlake, they're afraid of not working anymore. But regular people, that's a big fear, I know. How do you help your clients, Dolph, overcome that fear of settling into retirement and being confident about it?
Well, I go back to life is full of changes. I mean, I'll start back when you were in 8th grade getting ready to go to high school, were you afraid? Were you afraid of making that next step?
You have no idea how afraid I was.
Yeah, as a freshman.
But it turned out okay.
It turned out okay. Everybody gets through it. Mm-hmm. And then you get in your senior year and it's like, okay, Kristen, now it's time to go to college. Here's your next big step.
I was afraid of that too.
You're terrified. If you went to college, unfortunately some people don't have the privilege, but if you go to college, and now you're graduating college, so here's your next step. Now you got to find a job.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And then
all that.
Then you got to keep on finding the job until you find the job that you want as a career. Mm-hmm. Now you have this career, and you've been working this career, whether you're a singer, a business person, a financial advisor, a dancer, whatever it might be. So you have this career. Now the next step is what? It's called retirement. It's the next step of your life.
That fear naturally kicks in again because it's a big change.
And guess what? You haven't had that fear since your early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So you've gone 30, 40 years without that fear. So now you have this, well, what am I going to do now? This one guy says, I'm there. They got me to the dance. Well, now I'm going to get to the dance. Now I need to start dancing. So that fear of, guess what? Now you're going to have to start paying yourself. So all this money you've saved up over the last 30 to 40 years, you need to pay yourself for the next 30 to 40 years. And guess what? Another fear pops up. The fear of running out of money. Do I have enough to do this? And a lot of these celebrities, luckily, I mean, they're these multimillionaires. Their scenario is a lot different than the everyday client that we work with. But then you have this, okay, well, I want to go on this vacation, but they have the fear again pops up. Do I have enough to afford it? So when I'm talking to these clients and I'm running the Where Do I Stand plan, I'm saying, what is your biggest fear about running out of money? What changes in your lifestyle are you most afraid of making? And I hear answers all over the place. And I'm talking to David in Charlotte. And yes, his name is David. I've known David, since 2001. We've played golf together before. And he's so afraid, Kristen, to retire because he's making such good money now. But guess what? The last 4 years, he's been miserable working. He's working 65 to 70 hours a week. He's traveling all the place. He's now getting into 64, 65. He's getting into his golden years, as he wants to call them. But he's not getting to enjoy it. And I said, we ran to Where Do I Stand? He said, fine, Dolph, run this darn Where Do I Stand plan. Let me see what's going on. And I did this, and I did the budget guide. I put everything down. He's like, he looked at me, and I'm not going to use the quote because we're on the air directly, but are you blanking kidding me?
Oh, man.
Are you blanking kidding me? He said at least 4 or 5 times. It's like, yeah. He goes, I don't need to work anymore, do I? I said, no, and you're going to enjoy your lifestyle because guess what? Here's your Social Security. This is what it's going to take. This is what your pension's going to give you. This is what the income, with the strategies we work with. And look at this big nest egg you still have left over for emergency money. So we created him a plan for today, tomorrow, and never. Today, the money he's going to live off of. Tomorrow, the money he's going to use for the rest of his life. And the money he never plans on having. And he was like, man, I can't believe this. And so guess what? 2 weeks later, David calls me up and said, Dolph, I'm pulling the plug. I'm retiring.
Good for him.
And he did not want, he was so afraid of it because in the back of his mind, he kept on hearing, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. But once we put it in black and white in front of him and he looked at it, he was like, wow, I do have enough money. I do have enough income to last me for retirement. And it felt so good because that's one of my favorite stories I've had recently because I've had these stories like with David that lives up at the lake, so afraid of, he worked with American Airlines for 36 years. Back when they were known as Piedmont or whatever they were called. Oh,
man, Piedmont, I remember that. That takes it back.
Bringing back the glory days.
Yeah.
The same thing is like he was so worried he didn't have money. When we ran the plan, he realized, and he's been retired now for a couple of years, and he couldn't be happier because He has the money. He has the income. And folks, work with me or not, get some of the material that we can educate you with. But at the end of the day, is your advisor showing you strategies of how you can make your money last for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live. If they're not doing this, they're not doing you a favor. If they're not protecting your portfolio, they're not doing you a favor. Give us a call. Seek a second opinion and find out, is your portfolio protected? Can you retire? And do you have enough money to live on for the rest of your life?
I think it comes back to those fear of change emotions. And the good news is there is a solution to that. If you've got a retirement income plan that you can feel confident in, you have less anxiety, I'm sure, about not working anymore and counting on your own money that you've accumulated all these years to provide you that income. But you have to know where you stand with that. If you'd like to come in for that second opinion, that Where Do I Stand plan, just call before today's show is over with. The team will speak to you off the air and set that up at no charge. You can sit down with Dolph, get a second opinion of what's going on right now, and see where you stand in the future when things change a little bit. 704-919-0149. That's 704-919-0149. No secret that corporate pensions are disappearing and state-sponsored IRAs, they are under attack too.